my friend is visiting from Ann Arbor, Michigan, who I met after 10 plus years. It was great catching up with her. Right away, picked up where we left. Not even a single awkward moment. And we said to each other, "You have changed." And we meant change for the better. And that compelled me to talk about it. This is Sonali from Love Life Coach XO. I'm not talking about physical changes that come with age or even your core values. When your partner or even your friend says to you, "You have changed," what does it mean to you? What goes on in your head at that moment? Because it has both positive and negative connotations. They say, "I want your old self back." Let me give it a name to make it easier to understand. Let's say Jane's husband or even her friend says to her, "I want my old Jane back." Now, what was old Jane like? The old Jane was a pleaser, powerless, a follower, submissive, indecisive, and sometimes lost. However, over time, she became assertive, confident of her choices, found happiness within herself, stopped asking for advice for every confusing situation, able to handle her challenges and manage her emotions effectively, which means she was progressing in the right direction. And the new her made others uncomfortable. If you are doing things that are not in your comfort zone, if you are learning something new each day that are expanding your possibilities and shifting the way you think, that is a positive change. That means you are changing for the better. And if others are saying that in appreciation and are happy for you, then it's all good. So what is this change we are talking about here? When we talk about change, change can be in behavior, how we act, or in how we think, feel, and perceive. We react and respond to all the things, people, and events around us, and we adopt a new way of life. We look at things differently now as we experience life and learn. That is personal growth, whether this growth is sudden or gradual. But when your partner or a friend is saying that in a negative light, they are experiencing a predictable reaction from you. And when you become unpredictable to them, because now you are reacting and responding to your situation differently than before, they don't get it. It makes them uncomfortable. They feel like losing control. They're like, "Whoa, what's going on?" Like in the case of Jane, her older parents were not working for her well-being, so she decided to make a shift for her higher good. And her changed behavior came as a shock to her husband that made him feel uncomfortable and loss of control. Look, we are creatures of habit. People get used to routine behavior. And if you react differently in a particular situation, it jolts them. What you can do when you are making a shift, communicate that to your partner lovingly but firmly about your new way of thinking and the boundaries that you want to create. And understand that it takes time to adjust. And adjustment doesn't happen overnight. Because, different people react differently to other people's self-growth. There's another thing that happens with some people feed on your problems. Their self-esteem goes up when they help make a decision for you or give you any advice. And when you stop asking them for advice, they feel powerless. It upsets them. That is their self-esteem issue, not yours. That doesn't mean you stop sharing. There's nothing wrong in asking for other people's perspective. In fact, it helps at times if they can see the situation more objectively without bringing in their own biases in. And in some cases, misery likes company. They feel they are not suffering alone, and they don't like it when they see you that you have progressed and handling things well yourself. Human beings are hardwired to resist change, at least in the beginning. Some parts of the brain interprets change as a threat and releases hormones for fear, fight, or flight. Some can adjust, and for some it is challenging. For some, it takes time to get used to it, but eventually they accept it. Also, it has a ripple effect because let's face it, it affects other areas of your life also. If Jane has become assertive, that means she would be asserting herself in other areas of her relationship also, wherever she feels she's not being heard or her needs not met. Listen, we are ever evolving beings. It doesn't matter if the person is a teen or a middle-aged or older. We keep changing all throughout our lives. That is a good sign of personal development. It shows you're working towards bettering yourself, regardless of what pace you're going at. I am so motivated that every day I ask myself, what can I do to better myself today? And I know my growth doesn't sit well with some, but it is for me. It is for my well-being, for my higher good. So it doesn't matter what others think. So shouldn't you? Focus on you. Right people will align with you. Okay, now let's talk to the person who is at the receiving end. That is the partner or a friend who is having a hard time in accepting your changed behavior. If you focus on change as negative and worry about what this means for you, it would be difficult for you to accept it. But if you recognize that a change is inevitable and the changes are for good for your partner's well-being, you can make a space for it in your life as a normal part of your life's process. I know you feel your entire life has been disrupted, but believe me, if you keep an open mind and patience, you'll be okay with that in the end. Because my dear, you are changing as well in some way or the other, even if you're not aware of it. You're not the same as you were 10 years ago, right? Eventually, it is your choice. What do you want to do? Whether you want to come out of your comfort zone and accept growth in your partner and grow together or not. If you feel that you need any assistance with managing some of the discomfort that comes with change, I'm here for you. This is Sonali from Love Life Coach XO. See you later.